I am completely spoiled when it comes to finding new great trails to ride. Every single day in the comments, there's another person saying, hey, have you seen this? Hey, have you seen this? Hey, you should go here. Hey, you should go there. And I love it. That is what has built this channel to what it is now. Great suggestions from people hosting me on their great trails, wherever they live, and just riding the best trails in the world. That's what this is all about. But I know for you guys at home, it can be pretty hard to find new mountain bike trails. Your first and best bet is to make friends in real life. That is how you will absolutely find the best trails and the best people in your local area. I would start by looking for a local bike club. This might just be a Facebook group, it might just be an online forum, but most places that have pretty good riding have a local bike club that does trail work, that does events. Check that out. Search for like local bike club, go into the bike shop and ask, hey, who does a trail work around here? And go do trail work, go volunteer, go put in a hard day's work. It doesn't matter if you know nothing about trail building. They'll be happy to have you as long as you're not too annoying. Just get in there. Sometimes they'll have tools for you. If not, buy a tool, ask them what tools you should bring, and just hang out and just put in a hard day's work, and you will immediately get the respect of everyone there, and they'll probably let you into the club. The folks at your local bike shop definitely know what's going on. They will know all the legal trails, they'll know all the bootleg trails, they'll know who's building what and what's going on. So if you get in the good graces of your local bike shop, then you're going to be on your way to knowing the scene and finding trails and helping build trails. I've had weird experiences at local bike shops where they look at me sideways and I don't really feel like I'm part of the cool kids club, and I just turn around and I never go back to that bike shop ever again. There are great bike shops out there with great people that aren't kind of putting on a front and trying to be the cool kids. You just got to keep looking for the right bike shop. Facebook groups are a big thing nowadays, and I'm sure you're saying, oh, I'm not on Facebook. I hate Facebook. Facebook's not cool. There are a lot of people on Facebook, and there's a lot of good information on Facebook about local group rides. If I search for like Vallejo biking or Benicia biking or, local biking in my area, there's groups with like hundreds of people in them. And when you've got hundreds of people, you've got people to ride with, you've got people who know the trail. I really have to make a caveat for this entire video. If you don't have mountains or trails in your area, you're kind of screwed, right? Like if you want to grow up to be a professional figure skater and there's no ice rinks in your area, if there's nowhere to do your triple luts and triple axles, you can't grow up to be a great ice skater. You need to move to where the ice is. So what I'm saying is, if there's no mountain biking around your area, like after you've gone through these steps to try to find mountain biking, you're kind of fucked. Like that, it is what it is. Like, you can go build trails somewhere if you get permission by a land manager, but otherwise, it is what it is, man. I'm sorry. We can only go so far. Oh yeah, and back to bike shops. Bike shops usually do like weekly group rides. So if there's a weekly group ride at your local bike shop, get in there, get to it, and go meet those people. Hang out. Even if it's a trail you've ridden 1,000 times, they will probably know more great trails to go ride. So once you exhaust all the real world, real people options, let's jump into the online suggestions, and I'll show you a few of the websites that I use to find trails. When I'm on the hunt for new trails to go ride, my first stop is trailforks.com. This has an awesome database of user-generated content and tons of trails. The absolute best way to find new trails on Trailforks is go to this trails thing, browse by map. Then you just zoom into the place that you think you're going to be, and all of a sudden, great trails, if they are in your area, will start popping up. This is Rockville, a place that I really love. Rockville's kind of a maze though, and it really is tough to translate to Trailforks. It's like really hard work to put all these little trails on Trailforks. It doesn't do well in that situation. But here's Napa. This is Skyline Park. A lot of big long trails, not a big maze. You can see it's all out here. So if we look at this skyline right here, we can see there's green trails, which in America are the easiest. Blue trails are a little harder. And then black trails, which are some of the hardest trails. There's also double black and pro line as well. You'll see those around. If you actually click on any of the trails, you'll see the elevation profile. You'll see the direction. If you click on the name of it, you get a whole bevy of information about how how many feet you climb, how long the trail is, how long it takes on most users to actually climb this trail. There's ratings, there's status. So it's all user-generated content. This doesn't exist unless people like us go in here and edit it and make sure it's up to date and take photos and talk about if the trails are dry or wet. And I absolutely love maps, so I could be in here all friggin' day clicking around, digging in, and playing with it. But that's up for you guys. Now that I've given you the tools, you know TrailForks exists. Get in here, play around, and look at your local area. The tough part about TrailForks is that it's not the best tool to figure out a big ride. It's the best tool to kind of get an idea of the trails and the system that you're looking at, but there's not many complete rides. TrailForks has a feature called Routes that's right here that kind of shows you like a 10-mile route in Tamarancho. So it kind of gives you a good idea. Like, okay, you climb up this thing, you go clockwise, you come around, and then you descend back in. This is a really good example of a route on TrailForks. But TrailForks doesn't have many routes. That's something that, we as the people who use TrailForks have to change. We have to get in here and kind of put routes for people. So when I need a complete route, when I'm looking for a full ride, not just a trail, not just exploring, I go to mtbproject.com. MTB Project is very similar to TrailForks, but it's a little bit different. When you submit something to MTB Project, it kind of goes through a little more rigorous approval process. They really ask you a ton of questions. So you know that anything on MTB Project has been vetted a little more. So here we are in the Crockett Hills Regional Park. We were just on there on TrailForks, and you can see that the more featured thing on TrailForks is the routes, the rides. So let's go to Crockett Hills. This is a 13.1 mile ride. It said featured ride. Hey, there's my video right there that I did for Crockett Hills. And basically it shows the elevation profile. Boom, you're coming through here. You go up, you go down. You go up, you go down. Big tough fire road climbs in Crockett. It's great. There's weather. There's all clear. It's a lot of the same stuff. But when you actually add something to MTB Project, you really have to write an essay. You got to do your homework and really describe the whole thing to everyone. So the best part about TrailForks and MTB Project is they have mobile apps. And these mobile apps allow you to download the region that you want to ride beforehand. Before you lose cell signal, you got to download the region. And that allows you to basically have all the maps of that region, whether it's California or Nevada or wherever. Like they kind of boil it down to a specific region, and you can download all those maps onto your phone, and then you can put your phone in airplane mode and you're good to go. The blue dot, just like Google Maps or anything else, any kind of GPS navigation app, you'll be on the trail and you can see when you ride the trail, the blue dot moves, and you could be at like a little bit of a trail crossing or a trail split. You can take one fork of the trail and be like, okay, am I actually getting this? Am I actually going the right way? And that's what's actually really funny about these apps is that like, you can still get plenty lost. You can still go the wrong direction. You can still not know what the hell you're doing, even if you have TrailForks and MTB Project. It's a great way to discover great trails, but the map is not the territory. Of course, I love all the online options. I love geeking out on maps. Like, maps are my jam. I friggin' love them. But I really, really think your best bet is to make real life friends. Join the bike club, do trail work. You'll make these lifelong connections and you'll get out with like-minded people and just have a total blast. Now, all those methods are pretty good when you are at home, at your home base. But when you're out on the road traveling and you're like, okay, I'm going to be in Seattle. I know there's a couple good trails in Seattle. Then it opens up a whole nother can of worms. Then I highly suggest you call up the local bike shop, see if they'll rent you a bike. But I suggest paying for a guide. If you're in some random place, unless it's a trail system that's super well marked and it's just like one big loop and you've heard of it and it's got great reviews and it looks easy, go for it. But like if there are local guides, even if you call up the bike shop and say, hey, if anybody wants to take me out for $50, like how about the like, let's go do it. I'm going to be available at Tuesday. And there's also new apps for this on the horizon because it's just like Airbnb and Uber, right? There's knowledge over here, there's you over here, and you want to get through. You want to make that happen as seamlessly and easily as possible, instead of like calling up a bike shop and being like, oh no, we don't really have anybody that can help. There's this app called MTBguru that is gonna try to solve that problem. I really, really hope that they solve it, that they get it and get it going. It's controversial. Anytime there's money and trails involved and advocacy and permits, it turns into a little bit of a mess. But I think it's the wave of the future. I think it is the path forward. I just rode with the MTBguru crew a couple weeks ago in Southern Nevada, and I had a blast. This is not a sponsored thing, but if you're looking for trails and you're looking for people to help you go find trails, it is one of the true blue options right now. So am I missing anything? You either meet real people, you go online, or you pay somebody. That seems like the golden triangle of figuring out where to ride. If I missed anything, leave it in the comments. You know this is a crowdsourced channel. I depend on your comments. I love your comments. I'm always in the comments. That's my life here. So I hope that helped. Until next time, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.